And welcome back to Broader Financial Future, aka your BFF when it comes to all things finance. In today's video, I'm going to discuss what moves I made in the stock market. We had a crazy ride with its ups and downs, its highs and lows, so you don't want to miss today's video. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. We're really trying to get to that 1,000 mark, and we're halfway there. And thank you everybody who subscribed to get us to this halfway point today. Now, in addition to that, smash the like button. Who knows if it works or not, but it puts a smile on my face every time I see a new like, especially for a small channel. Those likes give us the confidence to keep on going, because at the end of the day, we are not getting paid for this. This is strictly, for now, free. So until then, stay tuned. All right, folks, we are back. So let's jump into today's video about buying the dip. Did I buy the dip? Did I not? Did I sell? But before we go there, I want to talk about the dip in general. Now, the S&P 500 fell 1.7%, posting its worst daily performance since May 12th. So it definitely was a bad week. It was a broad sell-off with each of the main 11 sectors of the benchmark registering losses. So it didn't matter if it was in tech, consumer staples, healthcare, everything was down. The Dow Jones Industry Average lost 614 points, or about 1.8%, for its biggest one-day drop since July 19. The tech-heavy NASDAQ dropped as well, about 2.2%. So as you can see, there was blood in the streets everywhere. So it didn't matter what you were investing in last week, a lot of red for the portfolio as well. All right, so let's look at a couple of reasons why this happened, right? So depending on who you ask, it was probably Evergrande. That's the second biggest real estate company in China. Basically, that company's going to default and be gone soon. More than likely, I don't think China's going to intervene, but we'll see. We're going to see what's going to happen with that. That's a forever growing situation. China cracked down on its various industries, from Bitcoin to casino. So China is definitely doing some major reforms to its actual country. So we're going to see how that's going to play out to the broader market as well. In addition to what's going on in China and Evergrande, you have the debt selling in here in the U.S. You have the virus, which is worldwide. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to go away, and more. So pick your poison. There's a bunch of stuff that's happening that people could point to and justify what's going on. In addition to that, September is historically known, or people say, as a bad month. You had quadruple witching recently. And in addition to that, October is known for rocky months as well. So September, October's, it's kind of rocky. So that could be another reason why we had the dips. And in addition to that, when you look at October, volatility is about 36% higher than the average of the other 11 months. So overall, there's a lot to be concerned about. But for me, I'm aware. I try to keep aware of what's happening, what's going on, especially when it comes to the stocks that I'm invested in. But after living through the 2020 crash and the volatility of last year, I have a healthy skepticism and worry, but I try to stay and stick to my plan. So let's talk about what I'm doing now. So basically, I am sticking to my plan. I'm keeping an eye on what's going on in the market, in the world, because these things do have an effect on the stock market. And are these real fears that I need to be concerned about? Or are they just things that I have no control, or is just worry and speculation? So I do keep an eye out on those things, on what's going on and what's happening, because things can switch up real quick. And like I said, there's a lot of things to be concerned about, But overall, I try to be aware, but I don't try to be like, oh my god, the sky is falling. Because at the end of the day, if it's really, really, really bad, um, it's just going to be really bad, and there's not going to be a lot of good. There's going to be a lot more concern than just the stock market. But overall, my goal is to buy companies I believe in at reasonable prices. Um, that way, regardless of what's happening, I paid, in my opinion, a fair value. Also, I switched more into a dividend stock investor within the last year or two because I want a company that's going to pay me regardless of what's happening in the market. But also, you want to buy solid dividend companies that you believe in. Um, so that's a thing there. So let's jump into it. So what am I doing now, right? So last week was a dip, and I consider that kind of like a sale, kind of like a 4th of July holiday weekend sale, trying to buy a car, you get a discount. So last week it was a sale to buy stuff. So let's talk about some of the moves I made and some of the purchases I made last week. And these are the purchases I made. So as you can see on the screen, one of the stocks I added to my position is Beatrice, ticker VTRS. Now, if you're not familiar with that company, I did do a video on it. I'll link it in the description below. That's a company I feel high on in the future, especially when it comes to biosimilars and basically generic drugs. Johnson and Johnson is another one I added to my portfolio. Not portfolio, but I added more shares this past week. I feel like Johnson and Johnson is just an overall solid company to own. In the long term, Johnson and Johnson is not. It's not going to go anywhere. Um, Hopefully not. They run a very solid business. In addition to that, I'll add a link below as well. I did add this particular ETF to my retirement portfolio, and that's ticker FINX. I've been looking into getting into the fintech space, but I don't want to buy any one in particular stock like a firm, PayPal, or whatnot. I feel like this particular ETF gives me a little bit of exposure to everything that I need, and that's the reason why I went with that ETF. In addition to that, another move I made recently was to buy a little bit of one of my favorite companies, and that's BCRX. I feel like there's a lot of potential there. I've done plenty of videos about BCRX. You can see, uh, I guess I'm gonna have to add a lot of links here, right? You go through my list of videos and find BCRX and see why is a company I believe in. In addition to that, I did add a um, um, added a small position into SBSW. It was just down so much that I just felt like it was just a good time to add more to my position overall. And when I look at my account, it's kind of flat this week, so it's not doing too bad like I thought it would be. So overall, the market was definitely crazy. Um, Let me know, did you guys or did anyone buy any stocks this weekend or this week, I should say? Or did you just hold? Did you sell? What was your strategy and moves during this wild and crazy week? In addition, I'm gonna keep an eye on the market and be cautious with my moves and build my watch list for entry points. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility still to come, especially in next coming weeks in October as well. So I'm going to be looking for ways to find deals during this volatility because I don't think what we've seen is over yet. I think the market is still going to be a little bit shaky going into October. If not, then it's all good. But if there's any stocks that you're looking at to buy or looking at getting into, you might want to start planning what's going to be your entry point. I did a video on two of the most important things to keep an eye out for is one, your entry point and your exit point. So make sure you have a list of the stocks that you want to buy and at the price that you want to get it at. Because at the end of the day, You know, if you buy a new car, you want to make sure you're buying it at the cost that you want from a car or a house or whatnot. So same with stock, same principle. And sometimes you might have to pay a little bit more for what you want, but keep an eye out for that. Outside of that, that's really my goals and plans. That was my moves this week. I wanted to make a video earlier in the week about it, but it's been kind of hectic and crazy. So it is all good. And here it is now. But make sure you subscribe. It really helps out the channel trying to get to that thousand subscriber mark. Hit the like button and leave a comment to let me know if you bought or sold any stocks this week. Are you worried about the stock market? What are you planning on doing to protect your assets? In addition, check out the links in the description to help support the channel. I have links to Webull and Robinhood. If you don't already have those, they should be offering a free share, but you can always check and see if the promotions are still valid by clicking on the link. Also, I have a link to a investor tracker. So you want to just use a book instead of just like a computer, you can check that as well. And if you don't want to use Robinhood or Webull, that's fine. There's other great brokerages like Fidelity, Vanguard, and Charles Schwab. Go with the brokerage that's best for you. All right, until next time, everybody, have a good one. Peace.